This video is sponsored by PoketownStore.com, the place for all your Pokemon TCG online needs. The new Sword and Shield online booster packs are also available, so definitely check them out, PoketownStore.com. Also, if you use the coupon code ZAPDOSTCG, you get 5% off your next order. How amazing is that? Check it out. What's up YouTube, it's ZAPDOSTCG here and welcome back to our TCG deck profile video on my channel. Today we have none other than PikaRom, everybody's favorite lightning deck. PikaRom is still very good in the meta game with Rebel Clash, and we're gonna showcase what the deck is capable of by showcasing every single card in this list. So we have a lot of attackers. The thing I have to note here is that there's not a single prizer in here in the form of something like a Zapdos, not even chinks like Jirachi, because you don't want to fall into the trap of Boltund V. So there's a lot of tag teams in here still, and as well as GX and V Pokemon. So we're going to be running 2 PikaRoms. That is always the most consistent way you can go about this. We also have Quick Ball to search this guy out. This is our main attacker. We have Tag Call as well, and even Electromagnetic Radar. So finding PikaRom will not be very hard. Just use one of the mentioned cards and just find it out, attach of the turn, and afterwards on the second turn you're mostly able to use Full Blitz, because we're having a lot of new cards in the Rebel Clash, which helps PikaRom a lot. We have one copy of the Raichu and Alolan Raichu-GX. This can sometimes be handy if you use Reset Stamp at the correct time to use, of course, the Tandem Shock to paralyze opponents. If they're paralyzed and you use Reset Stamp and they don't find your switch, you can also have a win condition right there. And also Lightning Ride GX can dish out those huge numbers like 250 damage if you have 5 energies in total. Pair that with something like a couple of Electro Powers, and even a huge Pokemon like V Maxes should go down rather nicely. So one copy of Raichu. So for now, things are looking very similar like we got to know PikaRom in the Sword and Shield days. Now this is where things change. Here with Boltund V, we have Electrify, which is able to accelerate 2 lightning energies from the deck immediately to one of our bench Pokemon. Actually, we can choose which bench Pokemon in any way we like, which is awesome. We also have the Lightning Storm, which dishes out more damage depending on how many lightning energies we have in play. So this can come in very handy if you use something like Full Blitz followed by a Full Blitz, and out of nowhere this Lightning Storm can dish out a huge amount of damage. But most of the time, if you don't find, of course, your first turn Full Blitz, you can immediately go for Electrify, so you can assure that you have your second turn Full Blitz. So that's going to be fantastic. Boltund V. Another V Pokemon I love is Tapu Koko V. The reason for that, let's say you don't fire Full Blitz, this has free retreat and you can use Spike Draw to draw cards. We have the new Speed Lightning Energy to draw some more cards. We have a Research, we have the Dedenne, so we draw to our entire deck rather nicely. So what else can we see here is that we can smack 200 damage for 3 energies, which is something the other Pokemon have a little bit of a hard time doing, because they either need to use their GX move. So that's gonna be a nice way. You can use Full Blitz onto Tapu Koko V, and Tapu Koko V can smack 200 damage. It all depends on your matchup, but this is a fantastic V Pokemon indeed. Okay, now that we're moving forward, we also have Zeraora-GX in here. The reason why I suggest you run Zeraora-GX is because there's Galar Mine. Galar Mine makes sure that your Pokemon have 2 extra retreat costs, and this Zeraora does state here that each of your Pokemon that has a lightning energy has 0 retreat cost. So even if they add extra retreat cost, we have 0 retreat cost, so one copy of Zeraora is a must. Full Voltage GX can also come in clutch in certain scenarios. Moving forward, we're gonna have 2 copies of Dedenne-GX, the most powerful draw in the entire game if you're not relying on supporters. The meaning of using Dedenne means we have the options to use Boss's Orders to just gust Pokemon up. We have Mallow and Lana, so we have lots of supporters which you want to use instead of using something like a Research. Research is early game, and then afterwards you use your more powerful supporters to either heal off damage or just to target the opponent's bench Pokemon down. So we have 2 of these. So as you see, there's a lot of GXs and V in here, as I was mentioning. And then there's 2 copies here. We have Tapu Koko V. These are not one prizers because they go away out of the game. So Marshadow, just if you smack that down on the bench, you can activate it, and yeah, you can activate it whenever you want. So then you can actually discard a stadium card and play, and this goes to the discard pile. So the good news about this is that you can get rid of something like Chaotic Swell, which is a huge issue for PikaRom. You want to use Quick Ball, find Marshadow, get rid of Chaotic Swell, so we can place down our Thunder Mountain. The other card here is Tapu Koko Prism Star, a must in every lightning deck to accelerate lightning energies. We're going to be running a high amount of energy switch, so we are sure that we can get, of course, the energies onto PikaRom to start using Full Blitz as early as our first turn if we go second. So you have to test a little bit with this deck. Sometimes I think going second is better, because you ensure your first turn full blitz, but on the other hand, if you go first, you can get your first setup. And if you rely on Guzma Hala, I think nowadays relying on Guzma Hala is more powerful than ever before, because we have more things. Not only can we search out Thunder Mountain, we also have Big Charm, as well as the new included Speed Lightning Energy, which we're also going to include, but more on that later. First, let's talk about the dominant supporter here. 4 copies of the Research. This is just in the early phase of the game. You can just draw very deep into your deck. You can use something like a Speed Energy. Oh, I don't find my Quick Ball or Tapu Koko Prism, no problem. Bam, smack down Research. Oh, still not finding it. Bam, smack down a Dedenne, and out of nowhere you see half of your deck very easily. Then 2 copies of Marnie. Slowing the opponent down is also nice. You have a very fast deck. The good thing about PikaRom is that you can mostly, if you go second, use your full blitz almost every single game. So you can use full blitz. The opponent will be set back because either they set up Malamars, either they have to evolve into a VMAX. You are a basic Pokemon, so you should be faster. If you Marnie them to a low hand size, that's going to be fantastic. Next up, there's going to be 3 copies of Boss's Orders. I was doubting actually to include 2 copies, like always, but and then including an Eldegoss V, but I decided let's go for 3 copies of Boss's Orders because we have Dedenne, so Dedenne can dig deeply into the deck, which will mostly find a Boss's Orders. It's gonna be sad in the opening hand if you have 3 Boss's Orders, but that's where, yeah, some random shuffles happen, you know? Then Guzma Hala, very powerful in this new PikaRom deck, because you can find, of course, your Thunder Mountain. You can also find a tool card of choice. We have Air Balloon, as well as the Big Charm in here. The reasoning for that is that sometimes you want to have something out of the active position so you can attach to something else. I know we have Zeraora to provide free retreat, but sometimes it's priced, so there's also 1 copy of Air Balloon in here. And then there's also our Speed Lightning Energies, which will make sure that we draw 2 cards if we attach it. So very nice, Guzma Hala. Then 1 copy of Mallow and Lana. Mallow and Lana seem to be dropping out of the PikaRom list as of late, but with, of course, the inclusion of Dracopult V being able to spread so much damage around, I do suggest running 1 copy. It could save your game instantly. Also, let's say they smack 130 damage with their attack of Dracopult V Max. You can undo that damage very nicely with Mallow and Lana, so 1 copy should be nice. Next up, going on to the item cards, we're going to be running 4 Quick Balls, of course. Quick Balls, the best search card in the game, so we can find Dedenne, we can find Koko V. Tapu Koko V is our main star, so finding that is going to be fantastic with Quick Ball. You can also find your tag teams in the form of Raichu, Alolan, Raichu, PikaRom with Tackle, and Tackle can also find, of course, our Tackle package here with Guzma Hala and Mallow and Lana. So Guzma Hala, very powerful. I love starting with PikaRom. Let's say you go second, and the only thing you will need is a Koko Prism Star, so you just dig deep into your deck, use Guzma Hala, even attach a Speed Energy, so as soon as you have like something like a Tackle and a Quick Ball in your hand, you already know that the first turn full blitz is gonna be fantastic. So next up, 2 copies of Electromagnetic Radar. Sometimes you don't find anything of your stuff, you can use Electromagnetic Radar, get your PikaRom in play, as well as smacking down the fantastic Dedenne-GX down. The good news is we're also running a lot of Electro Powers, which means you can sometimes attach and get out of the active position thanks to the free retreat of Zeraora with the Thunderclap Zone, and then switch that energy to the PikaRom. It's all possible in this list. Then, the most busted card for every Lightning deck. 4 copies of Electro Power will make sure we can get those huge one-hit KOs we desire. This is fantastic because sometimes PikaRom can just go after the Dedenne. We also run 1 copy of Great Catcher, use full blitz on the Dedenne, get 2 prize cards, and then attach all those energies onto PikaRom, so you can actually smack down sometimes 4 Electro Powers at once to just get the one-hit KOs on the VMAXs, which is something that did happen in testing. So next up, we're also running, of course, 3 energy switches, as well as 1 copy of the Tag Switch. Tag Switch switches the 2 energies from a tag team to one of their other Pokemon. Could be something like a scenario where you want your energies on a Raichu instead of something else, or maybe you want your energies from PikaRom to go on Tapu Koko V, or maybe you want to attack with Boltund V. It all depends. So Tag Switch is good, but Energy Switch is better to get energies from our bench Pokemon to PikaRom. Then 2 copies, physical copies of Switch. We are not running a Jirachi package, glad you noticed. The reasoning for that is that we are afraid of damage counters being swapped everywhere, thanks to Dracopult VMAX having a huge impact on the format. And Switch and all those cards, we definitely need that, because sometimes you start with Raichu and you say like, what am I gonna do now? If you start with Tapu Koko, you can just attach. If you start with PikaRom, you can energy switch the energies onto there, but you don't want to use like Tandem Shock for 80 damage, something you don't want. So 2 copies of Switch is nice. Then reset stamp, we buffed it up to 2 copies. Some people run only 1 copy. 2 reset stamp will make sure you win games in the late game. We are not running Volkner anymore. You could include Volkner if you want to, but with so many switch options like Quick Ball, Tackle, and Electromagnetic Radar, I don't think you will need something like a Volkner. So 2 copies, you will able to find them naturally thanks to digging deep into your deck. And yeah, if you want to include Volkner, maybe you cut the Marnies for 2 Volkners, it all depends, but I do love using full Blitz and then using Marnie to put the opponent to a low hand size. So 2 Marnies and 2 reset stab will make sure that happens. You can also switch it around, having 2 Volkner and only 1 reset stab, or 3 Volkner, 1 reset stab, it all depends on your playstyle. Then 1 copy of Great Catcher to make sure you can target down, as mentioned, weak Pokemon like Dedenne. Could also happen to just 1-hit KO with Tag Team with Raichu and Alolan Raichu, it all depends on what the opponent is playing. So Great Catcher right there. And then for our Guzma Hala package, we of course have 2 tool cards. We have Big Charm and Air Balloon. As mentioned, if you start with a tackle in the hand, you always make sure you have, of course, the Pokemon in the active position, which you can switch around with Air Balloon. And Big Charm also helps out to, of course, have more HP, because sometimes Zacian ADP is still a thing. They will try and one-shot you after they use Ultra Creation. With Big Charm, you make sure that doesn't happen. So we have Big Charm, Air Balloon, and then Thunder Mountain will make sure we need 1 energy less to attack. So Thunder Mountain is also in here. So we have Thunder Mountain and, of course, our Big Charm and Air Balloon. Gonna put it like this so you see what's going on here. And then to finish the list, we are gonna be running 10 physical basic energies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 of these will last us through the game. We do have Tapu Koko to get 2 of them back. The reasoning for that is you want to get them in the discard pile as early as possible, so having 10 will make sure that happens a lot of the time. And then what makes this list even better than ever before is, of course, the 3 copies of the Speed Lightning Energy. This is fantastic. It is searchable with thanks to the Guzma Hala. So if you have a Tackle, you have Draw Power. Now thanks to the Speed Energy, and you attach it to one of your Pokemon, and then you can draw 2 cards. If you attach it to your Lightning Pokemon, you just draw 2 cards. You have the attach of the turn, and it's searchable with Guzma Hala. It's everything the deck ever wanted. So 3 copies of that. Let's put them like this. And that concludes the list of the updated PikaRom. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to mouse the like button, subscribe for more content. Let me know what you think about the updated PikaRom list. Are you still running Volkner, or are you also going to go on the consistent route with Marnies and research? Let me know in the comment section below. Anyhow, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, yeah, let me know if you're going to try out PikaRom in this new format with Rebel Clash. Probably going to be on TCG since we cannot play any physical tournaments. But it's a fantastic deck to try out. Definitely still one of the better decks in the format. Very consistent, hits very hard, and it does the job well. Anyhow, have a fantastic rest of your day. I will see you guys in the next one, and thank you all for watching once again. Peace out.